You can go ahead and begin.
Imagine that you are back in grade school. You've been cooped up for half the day in a classroom listening to someone lecture you about all sorts of things. Now, imagine the moment when you are released to go play, perhaps on a playground such as this one. You get to enjoy the sunshine, play with your friends, and just breathe some fresh air. But now imagine if that free time was taken away. Grade school should keep a period of unstructured physical activity, often referred to as recess, built into their schedule. To understand this issue and the need for recess, it is important to understand the background of recess, the benefits that recess provides, and the things that can be done in order to change things for the better. Before you can take a proper stance on this issue, it is imperative that you first look at some background information, which will help to clear some things up. The first of these pieces of background information is the basic definition of recess. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, in an article titled "The Crucial Role of Recess in School," the Center for Disease Control and Prevention defines recess as regularly scheduled periods within the elementary school day for unstructured physical activity and play. Because of the word unstructured, and because of Anthony Pellegrini, his words, who has a PhD and is a professor of psychological foundations of education at the University of Minnesota, recess will not be referred to in the sense of physical education or PE classes. He says that the demands of physical education class do not constitute a break. This conclusion is also drawn from the 2001 Council on Physical Education for Children, who, although they try to promote PE classes, they do not believe that recess should be replaced by those PE classes. Another piece of background information that helps you to learn more about this issue is why you should care about recess. I think it's probably safe to say that the majority of us have worked with children in some form, such as through stay. At the very least, you've probably seen the children who are so often around our campus because of the close proximity of the grade school. In any of these cases, you've probably noticed a change in the behavior of the children when they've been forced to sit for long periods of time without a way to release their energy. This might include fidgeting, decreased attention or motivation, or disorganization. The thing is that these changes in behavior has been treated less and less as an effect to the lack of recess, and it has been diagnosed more and more as ADHD, or Attention Deficit and Hyperactivity Disorder. In her article for the Washington Post, experienced education issues reporter Valerie Strauss shows us that the CDC says there has recently been a jump in the percentage of young people diagnosed with ADHD, from 7.8% in 2003 to 11% in 2011. While there are a number of possible factors for the rise in this diagnosis, one large possible factor is the amount of time that children are being forced to sit in classrooms without a break. Angela Hanscom, a pediatric occupational therapist, is also cited in Valerie Strauss's article. She says that it has become more and more common for schools to want to test students for ADHD when they simply cannot sit still in the classroom. She personally observed a 5th grade classroom and saw firsthand the effects of children not having recess. She saw them tilting their chairs, biting the ends of their pencils, and even hitting water bottles against their heads. She observed and tested this classroom further along with several others, and she actually discovered that these children, the majority of them, actually had poor core strength and balance systems. She says that in order for a child to have a strong balance system, it is necessary for them to get up and move. When they are not permitted to move, Hanscom says that their sensory systems do not work quite right, which then causes them to naturally start fidgeting. This natural fidgeting should not automatically be assumed to be ADHD. This background information, including the basic definition of recess and why you should care, is very important in initially understanding this topic. But it is also important to go into the benefits that recess provides. Knowing about these benefits is very important in understanding the need for recess. The first of these benefits is that recess helps children to develop cognitively. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, a period of interruption is necessary after a period of concentrated instruction in order for children to have proper development and processing. Another benefit that recess provides is that it helps children to develop socially. In the same article, the American Academy of Pediatrics says that recess allows children to learn and develop socially through practicing and role-playing the essential social skills that they get through their time and when they engage in peer interactions. These could help children to have lifelong fundamental communication and coping skills, such as negotiation, cooperation, problem solving, and sharing. Knowing about these benefits of recess is important in understanding the topic, but knowing what you can do in order to push for change is also just as important. There are definitely many reasons that parents may not want recess to be included in school. So one specific thing that you can do in order to push for change is to talk to someone in charge. You can write a letter to your principal, a member of the school board, or even your local state representative in order to promote certain recess programs that ensure recess stays a positive and safe thing for everyone. According to the previously mentioned article written by Anthony Pellegrini, who has a PhD, one large reason why many parents are against recess is because they believe that bullying is a larger problem during recess. While this does make sense in theory, the logic is flawed. Pellegrini says that while it is true that children may be bullied on playgrounds, it is also true that they are being bullied in hallways, locker rooms, bathrooms, and anywhere else where there is not a lot of adult supervision. Even with this in mind, physical and verbal aggression accounts for less than 2% of the total behaviors observed during recess, which is remarkably low. Still, keeping the problem of bullying in mind, there are several programs that schools can use in order to satisfy concerned parents and to ensure that recess stays a positive and safe thing for everyone. These programs include Peaceful Playgrounds, Playworks, and the Link Project. Catherine Ramsetter and Robert Murray are both experienced professionals in this category of health and wellness, and they summarize these programs by saying each offers a slightly different philosophy and approach, but the commonalities are that recess is well supervised and that every child experiences daily safe playtime during the school day. Any way that you can show your support for this subject and to show that you are not alone will help to push for change. Grade schools should have a period of unstructured physical activity, often referred to as recess, built into their schedule. To understand this issue, it is important to understand the background of recess, the benefits that recess provides, and the things that you can do in order to push for change. With this information in mind, go out and make a difference by talking to someone who is in charge so that we no longer have to imagine a world without recess.
Thank you very much. Let's give a round. Okay, thank you. All right, at this time, let's go ahead and open up the floor for questions, if you have them.
What would you suggest for schools that may be underdeveloped where they don't have a playground or a place to play outside?
Well, you don't necessarily have to use a playground in order to give students a break. The concept is just that they don't have a period of concentrated instruction, so even if they just need to stay in their classroom, just give them some free time in order to kind of do whatever they need to do without telling them this is what we need to do next, that kind of thing. Yeah.
What does PhD refer to?
For Anthony Pellegrini, he works as a professor of education, psychological foundations and education at the University of Minnesota. So he's experienced in the area of the psychological parts of children's brains specifically. Yeah.
Do you believe teenagers should have recess?
Yes, I think I think it is the same concept where teenagers still need a period of break in between instruction. The thing is just more so with grade schoolers because they're at that early developmental stage, so where they kind of need it more for the initial development, but the concept is still the same. Yes.
Would you say that recess is being removed from school time nationally or more restricted?
I'd say there's definitely a mix. There are some schools who have completely removed it, but I would say for the most part it's just being restricted more and more. There was one mom, she said they moved from schools And her kids went from 2 recesses a day to 1 recess that lasted, I don't think it was even 10 minutes. And she noticed a large change in the behavior of her children. So while they still had like a little bit of a break, it wasn't enough for them to still get out and express their built up, entirely. So.
Anyone else? Nope. All right, let's give her a round of applause. Thank you very much.